ExJw turn G. You know what it is. Shit. Okay, damn, I just went blank. Anyway, we are finna kick it this way. I think I'm gonna go with the truth because, obviously the Jehovah's Witnesses believe that they are the only true religion, right? And that they preach the truth. And I really base everything off of like experience, like trial and error, right? Because I feel like there's absolute truths, and I'm even put like a little asterisk by that, right? And then I was gonna say that there are relative truths, right? So what I mean by that is I might walk outside and be like, man, it's cold, right? And to me, it might be cold. But you might have fucking grew up in the north somewhere where it snows and shit, and it's not cold to you, right? So I feel like that's a relative truth, right? That's individual, okay? But then you could say the McDonald's arches are yellow, right? Like as an absolute truth, right? You can't really argue that. They're yellow. And the reason why I put an asterisk by that is because what if, right? And this is crazy, but stay with me. What if we both say that they're yellow, right? But who says that the color that I'm seeing as yellow is what you're seeing as yellow, right? Does that make sense? You might see something completely different, but you call it yellow. Oh shit! Now, these are just hypothetical. These are just fun things to just think about, right? And so now the reason why I bring that up is it's a lot of manipulation and control and shit, right? And so because of that, they want everybody's truth to be the same. And I don't think everybody's truth is the same. I think our worlds are all individual. Our worlds are whatever our thoughts and our minds perceive, right? Which is why we can go and attend the same event and have the same exact thing happen to us. We look at the same thing, we eat the same food, but I fucking hated it and you loved it, right? Because it's just how you perceive it. That's how you view your world. It's how you perceive it. And so, since that's the case, since all of our minds are individual, all of our truths would be individual. And I don't think that that's a bad thing, right? But when you want to control a group of people, you can't have individual truths. You need everybody to believe the same thing. And maybe that's why I didn't really fuck with this shit either, because I always felt like my truth was different than others. Let's see what they talking about. Kenya, India, nigga, Fiji. What the fuck going on, cuz? Hold on. Maybe I need to, truth. Or maybe true religion. I just want to see what they're going to say about themselves. If I could write you a song and make you fall in love. Hold on, let's see. The good news. Oh, here we go. A world without false religion. Maybe this one? Is your religion the true one? That's good. I would already have you now and forever. What is this? The eternal beauties of true religion. What the fuck does that even mean? Practicing pure religion for survival? Man, what the fuck? I would already have you up under my arms. Let's see. I like this one. Where was it? Breaking free from false religion. They're all false. Execution of divine judgment upon false religion. Damn. What the fuck does that mean? Hold on. If I could write you a... Man, I got that fucking Mike Posner in my head. That shit go hard, though. Alright, so let's see what they're talking about. Execution of divine judgment upon false religion. Hold on, because I'm kind of getting off from the truth, though. Hold on. What is truth? Fuck. Finding the truth that makes men free. Here we go. Speaking the truth unites. Imitating the God of truth. Where is the truth? Here we go. Alright. So, man, this one. This the one that makes men free. Because obviously we know, as a Jehovah's Witness, you're a slave. And they tell you that in black and white. So how are you free? How would this make you free? Let's see what they're talking about. It's probably 20-some paragraphs. Long as shit. God damn, nigga. 40? What is this? This a watchtower? That's OD. 43 paragraphs? I never even seen that before. These niggas wildin', bro. Okay, you know what? We just finna take a couple of the paragraphs and then hit the subheadings and shit, because these niggas got too much going on. But it's yeah, whatever. Okay. Finding the truth that makes men free. Alright. Men and women who love what is right do not like being slaves to selfish, wicked men. Wait, what? I'm gonna start that over. That was weird. I read that weird. Men and women who love what is right do not like being slaves to selfish, wicked men. They want to be free to do all the good that they can. The creator of man in righteousness wanted man to remain free, to do good, and to glorify his creator. For thousands of years since man's appearance on earth, ignorance and religious lies have been used to make men slaves to greedy, oppressive men and organizations. And look, man, best place to hide something is in plain sight. Best place to hide something is in plain sight. For thousands of years since man's appearance on earth, ignorance and religious lies have been used to make men slaves to greedy, oppressive men and organizations. Did they not just describe the Jehovah's Witness organization? Right? So it's like if they tell you that straight up right there, you're not going to think that they are the culprit of these actions. You're going to think that it's somewhere else. Right? So that's the best way to fucking fool somebody, to brainwash them. Because you're going to be sitting in there reading this or hearing it, thinking, okay, well, they're not the ones, responsible for this because they're calling them out. And believe me, I lived it. Talk to anybody that's left the organization and see what they got to say about that. The Creator's time has come to set men free. Man, and so look, I know I'm talking a lot, right? I'm barely like not even halfway through this paragraph, but like I said, all I can do is speak to my truth, right? Because I don't know how your life is. I don't know what you experience. So all I can speak to my truth and hope that you find truth for yourself, right? So for me, because it says the Creator's time has come to set men free, okay? If you ask one of the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Creator is the one who set this religion up. He's the one who runs this religion. They're not free. They're very controlled, manipulated, and brainwashed in this religion. I feel like being free is when you can think for yourself, when you can make your own moves, when you don't have to go outside of yourself or depend on anything outside of yourself. That's when you truly become free, when everything is internal, right? But you have to realize that everything that happens in your life is because of you. Right now, I know it's easy to blame shit on outside circumstances and, oh, well, if I had had this and if they had done this and blah, 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 right? But really becoming free is realizing the power you have inside of you and taking responsibility for the shit that happens, okay? Let's get back to this shit. And that's just my truth. That's how I feel. That's how I was free. That's how I got set free. It says he is sending out his truth to lift men out of ignorance and to free them from the lies that keep men in slavery. What the fuck? Man, that's crazy. Because they have articles saying how you are slaves. And then they come out and say this. His truth now, his truth is now out to make all lovers of righteousness free. No power on earth can now prevent his triumph. Freedom-giving truth is universal. Truth, like the facts of proved science, is for all mankind. Truth does not belong exclusively to Americans, to Russians, or to people of any other national group. Truth is progressive. It enlightens and it results in blessings for all. Truth brings its lovers together. It unites. To the contrary, hiding the truth or refusing to learn the truth holds back true advancement. Misunderstandings then arise and wars are caused. All people living on earth have the moral right to hear the truth. To the seekers of truth, it is promised, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. Okay? For sure. For sure. The truth will set you free. But you gotta make sure it is your truth. Right? You have to find that out for yourself. Like, man, I don't know. I just think it's individual. It's just individual. Everybody's truth. You know what I mean? That's why when it comes to, like, a lot of this shit ain't for everybody. Right? Because this ain't everybody's truth. So, I feel like a lot of people might not fuck with my videos. And that's okay. But this is for people whose truth that this is. But they try to put, like, a cover over it. Like a cookie cutter shit. Like, it's this. And it's black and white. And if you don't do this, then you're wrong. And it's like, I don't know. Everybody is an individual and they want to control. But when you control people, you can't have them be individuals. According to the will of the Creator, man, I'm fucking up, goddamn. According to the will of Earth's Creator, the Earth and its abundance of good things are destined to be the happy heritage of all Earth's inhabitants. Earth's dwellers are to live together in peace. Does that sound weird, like Earth's dwellers? Like, what else? Who else is there? Like, anyway, Earth's dwellers are to live together in peace in one world community of helpful neighbors. Men are longing to enjoy the fruits of their work. An undreamed of high state of prosperity lies ahead. No more will Earth's population be plagued and made poor by wars, disease, and death. Nor are they to be dominated and exploited by any so-called master racial group or bloc of nations. No longer will scientific and spiritual truth be monopolized by the few to hurt the many. To this end, floodgates of truth have been opened, and its waters are flowing to all corners of the earth. Persons everywhere may therefore ask, where can one get this universal truth? Is it understandable? Are its sources reliable? What will getting this truth mean for me and my family? Does this truth indicate a happy future for man here on Earth, or is there to be a migration from this Earth somewhere into outer space? What the fuck? For answers to these questions, we must all consider certain plain, undeniable facts. Man. Facts. They talking about facts. This is crazy, yo. I'm gonna read this and then I'm gonna go down and see, because what they're talking about, truth conforms to fact. Truth is in harmony with the actual state of things. Two great sources of universal truth are available to man today, and they are in harmony with each other. The first source is what is called nature, where a vast storehouse of fact is found. Man. Many truths from nature have been known by man for ages, but in the last 50 years, more secrets of nature have been unlocked than in all man's previous history. These discoveries are known as true science. The truthful knowledge belongs to all mankind, is to be made available to everyone. This earthly globe with its treasure of nature is itself a teacher of truth. Likewise, Earth's stellar neighbors in space have many things to teach man as facts, truth. All nature's revelations of truth are consistent. They demonstrate the existence of order and harmony. I fuck with nature, right? Because that's like the most natural shit. Yeah. And so, let's just talk about nature for a little bit. I base a lot of shit on nature, right? I remember learning about the women's hormonal cycle, right? And learning that it's actually 28 days. I didn't know that before. I thought it was like a week. I thought her hormonal cycle was just when she's on her period. But that's just a part of the cycle. Oh, man. Okay, so it's 28 days. that goes with the 28 phases of the moon, okay? And then you have men, they have a hormonal cycle too. But it's 24 hours and it goes with the sun. And when you live in alignment with that, you will feel a lot better. Your body will feel a lot better. Like, that's why women, certain times of the month, they may act or feel a certain way versus other times. And with men, it's certain times of the day, right? Because their hormonal cycle is 24 hours. That's why in the morning, that's when men be feeling. That's when you really lock in. That's when you really got a lot of energy. Your testosterone is high in the morning, right? That's like when a woman is ovulating, low key. It's like the same shit. And when you know that and you can line that shit up, then you're good. I remember thinking, and I'm getting off a little bit here, but I want to talk about this nature shit when it comes to truth. I remember thinking, we know that a new day starts because the sun comes up, right? You don't look in the sky when the sun is straight up and down at 12 p.m. and be like, oh, today's just starting. Like, no, nigga, like the sun been up. The day starts when the sun comes up. The day ends when the sun goes down, and then it's nighttime. You know it's nighttime because the sun goes down, right? That's when days begin, and that's when days end. So I would always think, why would a new year, it would have to be based, a new year should be based on nature, right? Because everything else is. A new day is, and days make up weeks, which make up months, which make up years. So why would a new year start in the middle of winter? It just didn't make sense to me, right? Until I did my own research, found some shit out, and then realized the new year starts, it's really in spring, right? Because that's when everything's new, that's when everything's rejuvenating, that's really the new year. But shit's been changed over time, the calendar got changed, a whole bunch of shit, months got removed, months got added, it's been a whole bunch of shit. And that's why a lot of people just, it's hard for them to feel themselves in their skin because all the shit is off, right? And now I'm not saying to go start living like that, and you know what I mean? Because obviously we have to live in this world, and this world runs a certain way, and you know, whether we like it or not, we gotta live here. But when you seek truth for yourself, you start to realize a lot of the shit that we were taught and told and believe is all bullshit to manipulate, control, and to make a profit. Yeah, all right, I just had to get that off. Let's get, they still talk about nature. What is this? Human nature. That's a Michael Jackson song. The source of truth, okay. Where is that source of truth to be found? This written source is called variously by many the Book of Freedom, the Book of Truth, the Divine Library, the Book of Life, the Holy Scriptures, the Sacred Writings, goddamn. Or by way of eminence, the book. What the fuck? Since it is a collection of 66 inspired books, the Greeks gave it the name Biblia, meaning little books, from which comes the common term Bible. Oh, man. And like I said, everybody's truth is different, right? I'm not really fucking with the Bible like that. I feel like it was man-made, it was written by men, again, to get people to think and do certain shit. Now, I'm not saying that there's not good lessons in there, or good things that you can apply, you know, or add to your life, but like I said, I've studied the Bible, prayed prayers that are in the Bible, lived in harmony with it, and ain't shit happened, right? Ain't shit happened or changed for me until I decided to either seek out some more information or I'm going to take action and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. That's the only thing that anything has ever changed for me, and that's my truth, right? Man, let's see. What the fuck? Do you know you can hear your forefather, the first man Adam, speak to you in your own language? You may say this is impossible. What the fuck are they talking about? No, it is not. When our first mother Eve was created and presented to him, Adam was moved with a great delight, uttering the following poetic expression. This is that last bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one will be called a woman, because from man this one was taken. Okay? And so this is what I mean. This is in the Bible. This is Genesis chapter 2, verse 23. They're quoting what Adam said when he saw Eve. Who the fuck was there to write that down? Who knows what Adam said when he saw Eve? They were the only people on earth. And you got this in a book, quoted, saying that this is what he was saying. And people believe this like it's absolute truth, like the Bible is telling history. It's in quotes. You know, when you put quotes on something, it's exactly what the person said. Right? It's not a paraphrase, it's a quote. How does anybody know what Adam said when he saw Eve? That's like somebody writing a biography about me. Right? And they put some quotes in there on some shit that I said to my girl in the apartment. Like, nobody was there unless I told them that. How would anybody know that? And now all these fucking years later, we reading this in a book like it's exactly what happened. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. What other book can take us back to these early beginnings to supply us with the simple eyewitness accounts? Come on, dog. None. But how are we able to get these words from Adam? In this way. Actually, the Bible is so old that it has 3 documents written before the flood of Noah's day, 4,000 years old. The first document contains God's dictation to Adam of the basic facts about Earth's creation. The second document is called the Book of Adam's History. was written by Adam himself and was carried in the ark. Come on, dog. Man, they wildin', bro. Oh, shit. Oh, that made me laugh so hard I cried a little bit. Shit, what was it at? It said it was written by Adam himself and was carried into the ark through the flood by Noah and eventually given to Moses, who incorporated the document as part of the book of Genesis in the Bible. Come on. The third document was written by our common forefather Noah, the flood survivor. Noah's 3 sons wrote the fourth document, the remarkable log or account of the ark's trip during the lunar year and 10 days of the global, I don't even know what that word is. All this is incredible, you will say. You may think that because you have never examined the Bible for the amazing collection of reliable documents that it is. Nevertheless, precious information is hidden away in the Bible for your investigation. That's crazy. That's wild. They said it was written by Adam, carried in the ark through the flood by Noah, then given to Moses. And now we have it. Come on. Come on, man. Oh, look, I'm going to just read this because let's just see what they're saying about this. But you'll probably next say, how do we know that there has been fairly accurate transmission of these ancient records in the Bible? And I will say this, and I know I say this a lot on here, but still, they have to put every question in here. Fuck. Oh. The hell was that? I thought my battery died. Goddamn. They have to put every question in here so that you have an answer to it. Because if they don't put the answer in here, or an answer in here, you're going to look somewhere else. And they don't want you to do that. So they have to cover every basis so that you are satisfied and you feel like you have everything you need to know. You're content. You're not going to look anywhere else for information. You're going to accept this. Perhaps many mistakes that greatly distort the records have been made during the ages. The remarkable thing is that the Bible has experienced comparatively little corruption of text in spite of imperfect copyists. Please, bro. Furthermore, the way the Bible is written, using plain language, everyday illustrations, and prophetic symbols that are common in ordinary life, has made possible translations into many languages without distorting the dynamic power of the original message. My nigga. Using plain language, everyday illustrations... Oh, wait. What was I trying to read? Oh, yeah. Everyday illustrations and prophetic symbols that are common in ordinary life. I'm going to tell you right now. Ordinary life, the life that Moses was living, is not the life I'm living. What was ordinary to them is not ordinary to me. You know what I mean? So that right there doesn't even make sense. So it would have to be switched up for people to understand. Right? The shit that they went through, I didn't. Come on, dog. This could not be accomplished with any other book, whether philosophic or religious, because such books lose a large percentage of their original force in the first translations. Okay, but this one didn't. This ability of the Bible to retain a high degree of this force of its original messages further testifies to the brilliance of the mastermind behind it, its one author, the true God. And they could say whatever they want. You could type whatever the fuck you want in the same way with the Bible. The same way with that. You can type and do whatever. Note the conclusion of the outstanding biblical scholar, Sir Frederick Kenyon, on the correctness of the text of the Bible. The interval then between the dates of the original composition and the earliest extent evidence becomes so small as to be in fact negligible. And the last foundation for any doubt that the scriptures have come down to substantially as they were written now has been removed. Come on, dog. Both the authenticity and the general integrity may be regarded as finally established. That's crazy, yo. Putting the book of truth to the test. Ooh, yeah. And that's my thing right there, right? I've done this. In the last video, I talked about Matthew 7:7. And how that shit's just not true for me. Right? And so if this is a book from God, the creator of man, it would be truth for every single person. There would not be any exception because it's from God. So it is held to a higher standard. There would not be any exception because it was made by the creator for the creation. So it would be absolute truth. But that's just not the case. It is becoming more clear that, no matter where one lives on earth, the men are living in a time of reaping of consequences. All nations today have a history of crime, war, hypocrisy, and wrong religion. Not one righteous fleshly nation exists on earth. While many individuals have honestly tried to do good, and as much goodness has been done, yet badness with increasing lawlessness outweighs the goodness. The facts show that all mankind has come into a time of worldwide judgment with a society blood guilt piled up for generations hanging over us. Therefore, this is a time to get the facts of early beginnings and reliable history of the past generations to see why wickedness has become so great today. The Bible is the only record available to get such a background from the distant past. These sacred writings not only make known the why and where... These sacred writings not only make known the why and wherefore of such great wickedness, but also make clear the way of legal escape open today to the minority, the honest-hearted people. Like, I don't know, man. I don't really fuck with history like that, unless I do my own research, and unless I see it. But the history that we were taught, I don't really know, because it's like, it's just so much shit that's just, niggas be lying, bro. Like, they be teaching us false shit. They be teaching us what they want us to believe, and it's not the truth, right? Like, history is all fucked up. Like, I wonder, in 50, 60 years, right, when people learn about COVID, what they're actually going to learn. Because I doubt I doubt it's going to be the truth about what actually happened and what people actually went through. I feel like they're going to flip the narrative somehow, and I don't know what they're going to say, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be what actually happened. And so there's all these historical events and shit that went down that the Bible talks about and history books talk about. But who's to say what was the real reason behind it, right? They might tell you the effects of what happened, but how do we know why it happened? Oh, man. Yeah. This long-ass article. Why death? The promise of blessings to all nations. Let's get to the bottom of this shit. The blessing for earthly subjects of the kingdom. Is there any set number of these others? And where do they come from? Who? The fuck is they talking about? The Bible answers by means of the Apostle John's prophetic vision. And look, nigga was having prophetic visions, bro. Like, when did that become unacceptable is what I want to know. When did that become unacceptable? Because clearly, for John, having a prophetic vision was, I guess, fucking normal. And people put faith in that shit because it's in the fucking Bible, and now people read it and stand on that shit. They base their whole lives on that shit, right? But let's just say I had a prophetic vision, and I put it in a book. Motherfuckers is gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that shit ain't, like, bro, you was probably on some drugs, tripping, and you just went on a trip, my boy, relax. Right? So, at what time did prophetic visions become unacceptable? Or not unacceptable, but, like, nobody's taking that for fact like this, right? So, why did they then? I feel like a lot of people are waking up, and especially now, a lot of people are waking up, a lot of people are seeking the truth, and looking at this shit, and it's like, it's just not adding up, right? This shit is just not adding up. Here we go, look at this one. But what about our dead loved ones? Is there any hope of their living on earth as part of the other sheep under Jesus Christ's leadership? Yes, the resurrection from the dead is the great hope from the reformable dead ones in the memory of God. And this too is made possible through Jesus Christ. The scriptures plainly speak on this matter. Now Christ has been raised up from the dead, the first fruits of those who have fallen asleep in death. For since death is through a man, resurrection of the dead is also through a man. For just as in Adam all are dying, so also in the Christ all will be made alive. Do not marvel at this, because the hour is coming in which all those in the memorial tombs will hear his voice and come out. Those who did good things to a resurrection of life, those who practice vile things to a resurrection of judgment. Okay, and they take that for literal truth, to mean literally what they're saying. Now, name me one person who's ever died and came back. Do you know anybody? You ever seen anybody die and come back? Please tell me if anybody has ever seen someone that died and then came back. But people put their whole faith in this. People base their whole life on this. Right? That's just hope. We read in the last video, I pulled up Matthew 7:7, and it talked about having faith, and in order to have faith, you base that on evidence. Right? But this is just hope. There's no evidence of this. But people they base their whole life on this. Like, this is actual fact. When can the resurrection of those to live on earth be expected to begin? The Apostle John says in his vision of the new world, oh, here we go, his vision again. And I saw a great white throne and the one seated on it. From before him, the earth and the heaven fled away, and no place was found for them. And I saw the dead, the great and small, standing before the throne. There's the answer. That's the answer? That's the answer? Not until the old heaven and the old earth systems have fled away or have been destroyed as a part of the enemies conquered by the commander Christ Jesus. Not until then will standing up again of the earthly dead by resurrection take place. Okay, what? Does that not sound like some fantasy hope shit? Like I said, the Bible says faith would be based on evidence. What evidence of this is there? He had a vision. What? He probably ate a mushroom and went on a trip. And then people take that for fact? Man. I'm going to read these last two. What a grand vision of paradise regained. Such vision is part of the closing theme of the Book of Freedom, the Bible. It is the full answer to the great prayer taught by Jesus, let your kingdom come, let your will come to pass as in heaven, also upon earth. However, here we have only begun to get a glimpse of the vast field of truth contained in the Bible, and oh how grand it is. All this information it is impossible to get from nature. The time is now here for every lover of life and freedom to get a copy of the Bible and begin to make a study of its life-giving message. The Bible plainly says this means everlasting life. They're taking a knowledge of you, the only true God, and of the one whom you sent forth, Jesus Christ. And see, that's all some shit that a man wrote in a book, right? Nature is the real shit. Right? Like trees, grass, fucking waterfalls, whatever. Like, you can learn a lot from nature. You can learn a lot about yourself, too, more than what a man can write in a book. Right? They're talking about John had a vision and he saw that, like, do you already have a Bible? No. I got rid of it. Do you read it regularly? No, I don't. If not, take it down off your shelf of seclusion. Dust it off. Begin to use it daily to guide your life. It will help you. It will help your family in the way of living now for the new world. See what happiness and unity have come to the New World Society of Jehovah's Witnesses in every part of the earth. You too can have that same joy, satisfaction, and spiritual health. No other book or treasure you possess will produce such a lasting joy of heart or give such freedom. Why deny yourself its help and profitableness? Take your stand for the true religion of the Bible. Get the truth. Follow it and be set free. Assure yourself of a happy future, everlasting life in this beautiful paradise, earth under God's kingdom. Fantasy shit. Fantasy shit. And it's always something outside of you that you got to do. It's always something outside that you got to take in. I feel like every human has everything that they need within themselves. Everything you need. Right? And when you get all this shit from the outside, well, you got to do this, and you got to read this, and you got to live this way and do that, maybe that doesn't center with that person. Everybody is different. Everybody's life is different. Everybody goes through their own shit. And the only way you're going to know what's for you is by, first you have to know what you want, but you got to go with your heart. You got to go with you. And everything in this world tries to pull you away from that. Oh, you got to listen to this guy. Oh, you got to listen to him. Oh, you got to read this book. You got to do this. You got to do that. Ain't no cookie cutter shit to be happy. It's individual. It's individual. Everybody's life is different. And what makes me happy and what I go through might not make you happy. It might be the exact opposite shit. So until you look into yourself and realize that, that's when you become free. I feel like that's when you get set free. Yeah. I gotta go to the bathroom. JW turn G. Fuck with your boy.